What's up, everybody? Superbrooks fan here for another month of Stuff I Saw. So thankfully for Pittsburgh, I haven't been seeing too much bad driving here, which is why I haven't posted one of these in 2 months. Unfortunately for you guys, that means there's less footage to post up here, but there's a couple of funny things here I saw over the past 2 months. The first is the typical person that pulls out in front of you and goes slow and doesn't have any kind of decisiveness about which lane they're going to be in. I was going to go left and go around the guy, but then he got over to the left and then he went back to the right when I was going back to the right, and just all kinds of confusion there. On the upside, though, a positive, whenever I was driving this bright red Challenger Scat Pack, this construction worker gave me a thumbs up there, so very cool to see that. And then this next one here, now this light, it only was green for people going straight. It wasn't for people turning left. So the Corolla goes through like you would expect, and this person in this Jeep nearly gets T-boned for being an idiot, and I don't know why they decided they could turn left on red, but not a smart move. And thankfully the Corolla had decent brakes and was able to stop just in time, but that was a pretty close call. And another thing just makes you scratch your head. So I was going around this Dunkin' Donuts here, and this is a one-way little street, and I had to stop because, as you'll see, this person in this Ford Escape goes through and he waves like, "Oh, thanks for letting me go the wrong way." And I mean, it's just a little parking lot, it's not a big deal, but all these arrows are pointing the other way in both lanes, like, don't go down this way, and they just went down it anyway. This person just pulls right out in front of me, takes their sweet old time, and takes up 2 lanes here. Sorry about the glitch in the Matrix there, I don't know what was going on with the camera, but just really annoying. And it's funny because I encountered a few days later some deer that were more courteous than that Ford Explorer driver. So I'm just cruising along, and I see this deer here on the right-hand side, and they, get out of the way, and I, of course, slow down for them. But then this deer on the left hand is like, "Oh, is it okay if I go?" And then I'm just like, "Okay, I'll stop. You go ahead and go." And then it's like, "Oh, okay," and just goes across the road. They're all nice and friendly. That's one of the smartest deer I've ever seen, and like I said, more courteous than some of these drivers, sadly. And then this guy was having a struggle bus here in this Jeep, so he's just inching over a millimeter, and then jerks in the left lane, probably terrifies the person there in the far left lane. And then, takes a good while there to get over. We're having a little bit of a struggle, and then nearly 30 seconds later here, I'm behind the guy again, and this lane, now, there's a sign there on the right that says, "Traffic, keep moving," because this lane doesn't end. It's not a merge. It's a full-on lane, and he just stops there. And I had to blow my horn. I don't know what they were thinking. Like, you keep going down there. Even if you're from out of town, you can see, though, it doesn't say yield or anything like that. So that means you're supposed to continue proceeding. And they just didn't have a clue. And like I said, based on their previous driving, they were just struggling there for whatever reason. But anyway, so that's it for all the stuff I saw here in the past 2 months. So yeah, if you're curious about the dash cams, I always list all the info about the dash cams below. You can check them out on Amazon there. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.